actually put the King's Court in session. I got to give a shout out to the queen of the building, Miss Lady. She's en route right now. Thank you again for allowing the King to bring his kingdom over to the frequency. Big shout out to 420 for holding things down for me so that I can be able to speak to y'all and see y'all right here, right now. Um, we got a lot to talk about today. Whole lot to talk about today. There's a couple of things that I need to do real quick. So, wife had been on me. Wife had been on me. You know, I acknowledge myself as King Nab, and she be fussing at me. Why you don't never make them say your name the right way? So, although you will still hear me call myself King Nab, I'm just gonna put it out there for the wifey so I can stop getting fussed at after we get off the air and all the other good stuff. So the name comes from my Hebrew name, which is Yanaib. Yanaib, right? So in actuality, it should be King Naib. Should be called myself King Naib. But I already know how difficult it is, so King Nab is just fine. I don't have no issue with it. You know, my government name, the name that was given to me by my parents, people jack that up all the time. So I'm accustomed to it.
We kind of talked about that, last week?
Yeah, we sure did. I'm accustomed to it. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad about it. You know, I do it. I'm leading y'all into it. So I'm going to respond to either one. Just know that. I'm going to respond to either one. But ladies, you know what I'm saying? Before we really get into it, before we open up the court, right? I got an issue. I got an issue with y'all that I want to discuss here briefly. Just briefly. So I was on the book the other day, right? It was late at night. It was late too. And a guy had made a post in reference to how men feel. And it was actually a good post, you know, in reference to cheating, trying to give y'all a little advice as, look, if you don't want to worry about your man cheating, you need to do X, Y, and Z. So I went into the comments, right? And when I went into the comments, I seen the women in there just going in on them. What I mean by that was they was hitting them with a boy thinks that way, a man doesn't. Or a real man wouldn't see things that way. This is what I have to say, ladies. Stop the madness. Please, stop the madness. When you do stuff like that, the only thing that you're telling us is that you're not listening to what it is that we actually telling you. I want you to think about it this way, right? Think about it this way. Do we have the right to tell you how to be a woman? Didn't think so. So, why do you think it's okay for you to tell us how to be a man? Telling us what it is that you need, what it is that you want, is something completely different. But you can't tell us how it is that we doggone feel and why we do the things that we do. The same way we can't do that on y'all end. So please do not be that woman that anytime we sit back and try and tell you what it is that we think, why it is that we do what we do, or how it is that we doggone feel, you sit back and try and tell us, well, a real man wouldn't see things that way. Do you even know what a real man looks like? If you're talking about the husband that's on your side right now, he might be thinking the exact same thing. He just don't have the gall to tell it to you to your face. He trying to spare your feelings. Don't be that person. Please don't. Not at all. All right, but we about to get into the thick of things, right? We about to get into the thick of things. Hey, this is open dialogue. This is open dialogue. If you're listening, whether it be on Facebook or through the radio, hit us up. Hit us up, especially afterwards or whatnot. Definitely want to be able to hear exactly everybody's thoughts and be able to dialogue with everyone. This is an open discussion. So before we get into the actual topic of the day, right? Make sure you go into the Frequency CO or the Frequency Colorado, and I need you to like, share, and follow right now. Right now. I ain't giving away no books today. They all gone. You got to wait. You got to pre-order right now. The book Cannot Be the Man, Letter from Us to You. Its release date it is on the 26th of this month. You don't have too much longer to wait before you have the opportunity to get in on the discussion. See what it is that we actually talking about. Okay? So, right now, go like, follow, share the frequency, CO, right now. That way you can hear and see exactly what's going on. And while you're doing that, make sure you go like, follow, and share Cannot Be the Man, the page as well. So, last week, for all y'all that missed it, I called a truce. There has been a Cold War that has been going on between men and women for some years now. It don't matter how it started. Lady Latina made it perfectly clear that we started it, which is fine. We'll take that. All I know is that it needs to come to an end. So we called a truce. Within that truce, we asking that as we men go off to the side and we're going to hold each other accountable. We're going to fix some things and we're going to do some healing, right? We're going to figure out what it is that we willing to compromise on, what it is that we not willing to compromise on, and those things that we just simply willing to let go altogether, right? Ladies, we need y'all to do the same in return too. The exact same thing in return. Y'all gather each other up, y'all go off somewhere, heal, figure out what it is that y'all willing to compromise on, figure out what it is y'all not willing to compromise on, and what it is that y'all are willing to simply let go. But one of the biggest things is healing. And within that healing, we are hoping that you figure out exactly what it is that you need from us. Not just what you want, but what you need from us. All right? Okay? So, and within that, brothers, us coming together, right? There's a bond that needs to be built. So literally, today we're going to be talking about brotherhood. Brotherhood. Started talking about it a little bit last week. All right, shout out to my A-Team brothers. A-Team actually stands for Anointed Together, Encouraging All Men. Anointed Together, Encouraging All Men. I have been with them brothers for close to 20 years now. Close to 20 years. We have literally grown together. We talking about a group of men. Some of us grew up with our fathers. Some of us grew up without our fathers. But we literally grew up together. And the accountability that we hold for each other help us to become the men that we are today. That brotherhood that I'm talking about right now is important. It's important because we need that mind, right? We need that other voice to help us when we strand a little bit too far down the wrong path. And that's what my brothers have been to me. So I'm gonna kind of describe a little bit before we get into the thick of things, right? How it all started. All right. So A-Team originally started with actually it was three brothers, or whatnot, two brothers and a cousin, I believe. But the two brothers I knew were Lamar and Monte. We call them Sincere and L1. All right. I was brought into the fold through Monte. Met him. It's crazy. It's crazy. I met Monte at work, and I ended up coming into the fold through the football field. No, I ain't talking about college football or high school football. I'm talking about flag football. I just enjoyed doggone playing football, but that's how we came together, right? And quite frankly, it couldn't have been at a more better time. I was slap dab in the middle of a horrific separation and a divorce. And these brothers kept my mind off of it. Don't get me wrong, those late nights when I was by myself, things of that particular nature, I definitely thought about it. It was hard. But them brothers kept me so busy during that time that, yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of time to sit back and think about it. And it grew. We talking about, at that particular time, we had myself and two other grown men staying in a one-bedroom apartment, and a bond like no other was built. It was built. And it just grew and it grew and it grew from there. But I got humbled here earlier last week, because like I said, I didn't start this thing. Didn't start it at all. But somewhere down the line, my brothers collectively agreed that I become the leader of it. And it humbled me. It really did. It humbled me. Let me tell you why. I am the only boy of four sisters. Four sisters. Have no natural brothers at all. Not one. So although I did grow up with my father, but my father was in and out of the home. In and out of the home. And don't get it twisted. He wasn't a Rolling Stone, if that's what you're thinking. My dad is schizoaffective. He has a mental issue, which is the reason why mental issues within our culture is so important to me. Right? But he had a mental issue, so he was in and out of a home, in and out of the hospital. So he really wasn't there to kind of teach me and show me how to function and operate around men. I had to learn it on the fly. Now I had friends, mentors, things of that particular nature that helped guide me through those particular times. And I still have friends, even to this day. Shout out to my man David. I've known this joker since elementary school. We talking about 30 plus years of friendship, and I wouldn't trade it in for the world. Shout out to my man Moray, aka Lee. I've known this joker for well over 20 years as well. Shout out to my man Kelly. Known this joker for well over 20 years. But it is these relationships and that have helped to mold the man that I am right now. And it's needed. It's necessary. It's necessary, people. Fellas, we need it. We need that accountability. Because contrary to popular belief, we don't know it all. We wasn't taught. We talked about it the other day. We wasn't groomed to be Prince Charming. We wasn't shifted and given superpowers to be Superman. So this journey, which can be a very long and lonely journey, in the midst of this journey and you come along the way, you need to find a circle that's going to keep you accountable. I'm not talking about them doggone friends that say yes to every single thing that it is that you talking about doing. You sitting about talking about going out here and robbing a bank or something like that, and they amping you up. I'm not talking about them friends right there. Them not the ones that you need to be around at all. And sometimes they family. Real talk. But you got to find a collective group of men that has no problem with lifting you up. What do I mean by lifting you up? So, what has us here right now, the book, Can I Be a Man? A Letter from Us to You, right? My 18 brothers, Just about everybody in there had their hands in it. Yeah, I wrote the content, right? But y'all wouldn't even be able to have this book had it not been for my 18 brothers. My D, I remember I was sitting back talking to him on the phone about the book because he was right there. He was right there with me when I was writing it in the hotel room, getting it prepared, right? Reading it, like, yeah. And people gonna understand that right there. They're gonna feel that right there, right? But literally, I was talking about selling my car so that I could get this book to y'all. And he was like, no, man, you ain't got to sell your car, man. That's what I'm out on this road for. I got you. 2 weeks later, that man gave me the money for the entire bill. How many friends do you know and have that are like that? I needed to get the forward done. Hollered at my man Lee. He knocked it out. No issues, no problem. And then D provided me with the young lady that wrote the actual introduction. The next thing you know, my man Lamar at L1 is making commercials. I have my man Chris. Shout out to you, Chris. That's my audio man. Had him helping me with the documentary. And him and his cousin Tank, my man Tank. When I say everything that I need in order to get things done is in this group, I mean everything it is that I need. From the financial, I'll put it to you like this: even if I need jerseys, if I need to get some throwback jerseys, some shoes, something of that particular nature or whatnot, I can go to them. I got it. Business-minded men. Group of business-minded men, black-owned business owners, men that sit back and support each other. And for my people in Colorado, when I say it's here, I mean it's here. Big up to Sean and DeAndre for coming up with the 100 men here in Colorado Springs. I believe in what it is that they do. I believe in it. And I'm going to be right there in the thick of things. Right there in the thick of things. I was at that meeting this past weekend. It was great to see multiple generations. I'm talking about multiple generations. Older men around my age, and younger men. All with one mission. All with one mission. To take care of, to provide for, to protect our community. But I'm going to jump off my horn real quick. We got to pay some bills. We're going to get back into the thick of things. I know I'm just giving y'all some history real quick, but we're gonna dive into this thing and talk about why brotherhood is so important, okay? All right. King has spoken.
2.
And we are back. The King's Court is back in session, people. If you missed the first half, ladies, please stop trying to tell us how to be a man. You don't want us out here trying to tell y'all how to be a woman. All we ask is that you don't do the same in return. That's it. If we sitting back trying to tell us, don't sit back and tell us that that's how a boy thinks. A man doesn't think that way. How would you know? How would you know? We need y'all to hear exactly what it is that we saying. Because when you sit back and do stuff of that particular nature, guess what? We know you're not listening to us. We know you're not listening to us. So please, don't be that woman. And for the ladies that understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about, start checking the women that are like that. You need to listen. If you want us to hear you, you need to hear us. It's as simple as that. And we started talking about brotherhood, which is what we're going to continue on. And I was talking about my 18 family. My 18 family. Big shout out to the 18 TV. Hey, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. I definitely appreciate each and every last one of y'all. And shout out to my man Cottrell. I see you up there watching. Hey, again, this is open discussion. Before we get back into it, make sure you like, share, and follow the Frequency CO or the Frequency Colorado. Need you to like, share, and follow that right there. All right. And at the same time, make sure you go like, follow, and share Can I Be the Man, the page. If you haven't already, Can I Be the Man, the letter from us to you, the book, the reason why we are here right now, the reason why this podcast is going on. If you haven't pre-ordered it, go ahead, pre-order it right now. Right now. Okay? It's out on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. I Googled it the other day. It's out just about everywhere. I had a friend that literally purchased it on Google Play. I didn't even know it was going to be on Google Play. But it's there. All right? Go out and get it. Well, we've been talking about brotherhood, right? And I want to kind of talk about the importance of brotherhood. The importance of brotherhood. Ladies, a lot of the issues that y'all have with us can be solved through brotherhood. When we have brothers that are holding us accountable, they help assist in making sure that we treating y'all the way that we should be. Believe it or not, that friend that most times you don't even like is the one that's ensuring and making sure that your man is treating you the way that you're supposed to be treated. Those fathers that you see out there that's doing what it is that they actually supposed to be doing, that's those friends, those mentors, those people that's in their lives that's keeping them going. That's keeping them going. You know, and that brotherhood can come through friends. It can come through your actual brothers, mentors, whatever. You know, over the last couple of years, and shout out to my coaches out at Santiago's Boxing Club. Shout out to Santiago's Boxing Club, one of the sponsors anyway. But I watched it. I watched brotherhood live in action. Live in action. One of my coaches that was locked up, I watched his brother make sure that his son stayed out of them streets, that he didn't and wasn't going to go down the same path that he went down while he was away. And that's what we need. That's what we need in our community. And I commend them. I commend them because that takes a lot. That takes a lot. When I was on the live the other day, my friend D asked me a question in reference to this right here. What do those single mothers do? You know what I'm saying? When they don't have a man around. Because he grew up without his father around, without a real father figure, right? He asked me, what do they do? I said, do you got any uncles? He said, yeah. I was like, well, that was their responsibility. Where were they at? Why didn't they teach you those things that you should have been learning as a man at a young age? This is what it is that I'm talking about when I'm talking about brotherhood. Because being a brother means a little bit more than just sitting back and going out with each other and chilling, things of that particular nature, means way more than that. If something was to happen to me today, or something was to happen to you today, who is going to step in and make sure that your family is taken care of? Would everything be left on my wife's shoulders? But I can confidently say that I know without a shadow of a doubt, I got a grip of brothers that will ensure that my kids are taken care of. When I say taken care of, I'm not just talking about from a financial standpoint. Anybody can toss money to a problem. Anybody can toss money to a problem. But to be able to sit back and invest time, there is nothing more precious than time. To be able to invest time into an individual. That's the reason why, I give a lot of praise to stepfathers. I really do. Because to be an individual that has no real claim to that child, to be able to sit back and invest time. Invest their time. Their time could be going to anything. But they're taking out the time to invest into that child. And I know nowadays it's kind of frowned upon. It's kind of frowned upon. Man out here taking care of somebody else's child, they'll call him a simp really, really quick. Well, I applaud you, brothers. Keep doing what it is that you're doing, because our communities need men like you. We gonna change the narrative even on that. Even on that. I need more men that's like my coaches, especially that coach that sat back and stood in the gap for his brother while he was locked up. We need more men like that in our community. Could you imagine what our communities would look like if the men started standing in the gap for some of these absent fathers, for some of these fathers that are in prison right now? Do you know what type of loyalty you build by doing things of that particular nature? If I got locked up tomorrow, when they'll say it ain't gotta be long, it'll be for a nice little 5-year bid. My youngest right now is what? About to be 2. That means he'll be 7 when I get out. This joker will be in school. That's a lot of years of investment, of teaching, discipline that I miss out on. But the type of loyalty that I would have to the individual, to that friend, to that brother that stepped in and made sure that he stayed on the right path, teaching him and those things that I would have been able to teach him if I was there. Loyalty like none other. I'd be so grateful. I'd be so grateful. And ladies, when you come across men that are like this, praise them, applaud them, build them up, because they need it. Because of a lot of the work that they are doing behind the scenes is vital. It's important. And quite frankly, if you don't build them up, praise them, encourage them, who's going to? We definitely know society ain't. Because they see each and every last one of us as the exact same. Think I'm lying? Go to court for child support. Think I'm lying? Go to court for child support. You could be paid up. Never miss the payment. They're going to treat you the same way that they do that individual that ain't never paid a dime in their life. They see us no differently. Trust me, I know from experience. I've been there. I thought I was doing the smart thing by taking child support out on myself. Thinking that they ain't gonna treat me like they treat these jokers out here. Huh? Nope, that's not the case. They treated me the exact same way. The exact same way. It's crazy. It really is. But that brotherhood is necessary. It is needed. That man that be going upside his woman's head if he had somebody that was in his corner, somebody that was in his ear, be able to help prevent things like that. That father that's out there not taking care of his kids, if he had that friend, that mentor, that brother, somebody that was in his ear, that was holding him accountable, wouldn't be that way. And I'm going to tell you now, I have no respect for friends that don't hold their friends accountable. If you can't hold me accountable, you can't be my friend. You just can't. Why? Because I can't trust you. I can't trust you at all. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to be into it. We definitely going to be into it. Because I'm not about to bite my tongue. That I definitely ain't. Especially if I call you my friend. If I call you my brother, I'm not about to bite my tongue. I'm about to tell you exactly what it is. You want to know why? Because I care about you. I care about your well-being. If I see you out here about to do something dumb, guess what? I'm going to pull you off. Hey, yo, that ain't cool. That is not cool whatsoever. We do it. There are many men out here that do it. And like I said, ladies, you need to praise these men, applaud these men. Because they are needed within our communities. And if you know someone that is like that and you're not doing that, why? Why aren't you? You know how hard it is to be who it is that you are. And how you feel when somebody give you a compliment or tell you you're doing good. I can sit back and tell one of my female friends that they're a good mother. Build them up a little bit. I can even do it with my wife. You're going to light up. You're going to appreciate it. Can we get the same in return? Can we get the same in return? And maybe, just maybe, establishing and building that brotherhood to stop some of the things that we see within our community, some of the crime, some of the violence, some of the pettiness that we see. Because quite frankly, when I'm talking about brotherhood, I'm talking about sisterhood as well. Help me understand, ladies, why y'all are so competitive. Why? You know how many women I come across that sit back and say they just don't like women, they prefer to be around men. I never understood that. Because I know as being a man, there's a certain energy that I get from being around other men that I can't get from being around women. And I know it has to be. I know it is. A certain energy that you get from being around other women. I know it's there. I see it. Especially when when my wife get around her friends, I see it. I see it. They make her smile in a way that I can't. And that's necessary. So although I'm sitting back talking about the importance of brotherhood or whatnot, sisterhood is important too. It's just as important. Just as important. So, what's the problem? Help me understand, ladies, what's the problem? We talked about it in the last show when, back in the day when, the mothers of the town would get sick or just had a baby, something of that particular nature, how they would come together and come clean the house, cook a meal, get those other kids so that she can focus on herself and the baby. What happened to those days? What happened to it? Some of y'all more violent than we are. Real talk. What happened to those days? Can we get back to that? Can we change the narrative on that? Because the same way we need that brotherhood, y'all need that sisterhood as well. But you gotta pay some bills, so we're gonna adjourn court right quick, and we will be right back. The king has spoken. And we are back. The King's Court is officially in session. Right before we left off, right? Taylor Chris made the comment, independence and careers damage the relationship of women just as it did men and women. I got to agree. I have to agree that independence as well as careers has to a certain degree destroyed the brotherhood and sisterhood that we once had and that we are trying to change the narrative on. So you're going to hear me say this a lot, right? There is nothing on this earth created that is solely and completely independent upon itself. It's not. Nothing at all. Think about it for a second. Can you name something that's completely independent upon itself? But we have that narrative that is being sprayed around all over the place. Now, fellas, we got to take some responsibility on this one, right? Because we kind of pushed the independent mindset. We forced women to kind of feel like they had to be independent. Some of it came through our absence. Some of it came through just not simply taking care of our responsibility at all. But let me correct some things real quick for my ladies, right? Because we're going to change the narrative on this. Again, nothing is solely independent upon itself. Yeah, you out here, you got your own business. Or you working, paying your own bills, taking care of the house on your own. But guess what? You're still not independent. Because you take away that job, guess what? Yep. You won't be able to pay them bills. That business owner that's out there, take away them customers, that business ain't gonna fare too well. You are dependent upon something. Upon something. That's just the reality of it. And I said it in the other show, and I'm gonna say it again, because I believe it with all my heart. My men out here that's talking about they want an independent woman ain't doing nothing but saying they don't want the responsibility of having to take care of you. It's literally what it is. It's like I said before, when that responsibility of being the sole provider is there, so does and so comes responsibility. You're responsible for everything in that house. Putting food on the table, making sure them lights stay on, making sure and that you got heat in the winter and AC in the summer. Making sure that mortgage get paid so that your family have a place to lay their head. Responsible for everything. And a lot of us don't want that responsibility because of fear. Fear of failure. It's the bottom line. That's what it's boiled down to. Fear of failure. Because if any one of them bills don't get paid, guess whose fault it is? It's yours. Exactly. It is yours. Then, like I said, ladies, and I'm going to say it again, your independence has made us lazy. It's made us lazy. You require all this stuff from us, not realizing that your independence is what's making us lazy and contributing to the fact that what you require of us, you don't get. Think about it. That is literally exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Here laughing because it's the truth. When you think about it, it's the truth. It's one big old nasty cycle. One big old nasty cycle, and we got to break it. We got to change the narrative on it. So if we are not independent, most people don't want to be dependent. That word is so nasty. They don't want to be dependent on nothing. So what should we be? Interdependent. We should be interdependent because literally everything on this earth is interdependent. It is interdependent upon something else. Just think about the cycle of life. You can look at nature. Nature explains it beautifully. It does. You have the sun that beats down on the earth, that helps plants to grow in conjunction with rain. You have the soil. You have all these things that contribute to make sure that one little old plant grows. And that plant is dependent upon it. It's interdependent upon it. Yeah, you already know how it is. You always have a side B. Because if you become too dependent upon something, it can become a bad thing. Too much rain, you got what? A flood. Not enough sunlight, or too much sunlight, you got a drought. There's a balance to it. And men, that's what we have to become masters of. We have to become masters of balance. Being able to balance our lives to start out with, then the lives of those that we are responsible for. Learning how to effectively and efficiently govern those lives. We have to become masters at balance. Look at nature. It'll help teach you. Think about it this way. If you're too protective, you're going to end up having weak kids, needy kids. And we all know that that is not good, nor is it safe in this world. It's unrealistic. If you're not protective enough, sometimes yield the exact same result. There has to be a balance. I was talking about it the other day. Can't remember whether it was on our last show or on my live over the weekend, right? But I got a sister. They used to send my nephew out here to me. You know, that was before she actually got married. She used to send him out here to me. And he's a little lazy ladies man. Little ladies man, right? But he hates physical contact. What I mean by that, I'm talking about the roughness. Now, anybody that knows me and knows my kids knows that they are rough. If you sending your kids over to my house, your little ones, just know they're going to be doing some rough stuff. From wrestling to fighting, everything it is that they do could potentially break an arm, cause a cut, something of that nature. But we have a tendency of being a little bit too protective. And that's how my sister is. It's a little bit too protective. This joker don't want to go to school because they fight in the bathroom. He doesn't want to come back to my house because he has to box. He has to train. He doesn't want to nor like to get hit. It's not a good thing, especially considering that he's a boy. If you cannot protect yourself, how can you protect someone else? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. If you cannot protect yourself, how can you protect someone else as a man? And then what's not being realized is that you're creating a runner. Literally, you're creating a runner. He doesn't want to go to school because they fight in school. So you're considering homeschooling or online school. He's running from his problem. That is not the makings of a man. Don't get me wrong, it's a time for everything. But in this particular case, that is not the time. So, when he grows up and get older, right? And he's faced with a serious issue, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to run. When he has to protect his wife from whatever, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to run. If he had to protect you, what do you think he's going to do? he's going to run. Balance, people. Balance. Not telling you not to be protective of your kids. Especially your boys. I'm not telling you. But what I am saying is take the titty out of the mouth. That is the reason why, fellas, it is so important for you to be active in the lives of your kids. Because if you're not there, who's going to do it? And sorry, ladies, sometimes y'all don't even realize it. Y'all coddling these boys. Don't even realize it. At all. And it's not your fault. That's not your responsibility. That's ours. That's ours. And trust me, I battle it myself. My wife be getting mad at me. Seriously. Because I be wanting my kids out of my room. You got 6 months. You got 6 months sleeping in my bed before it's time to go. This last one I compromised on. You know, he stayed in there a whole year. And each and every last one of my kids was breastfed. So literally, after a year, it's time to come up off of it. Seriously though, fellas, we are needed. That is why brotherhood, for me, is so important. It's so important. Because even if you did grow up without your father, having a good brother right there on the side can help you in your journey into manhood. Being a man ain't easy. They sit back and try and say that we so simple, but it's way more complex than what people put on. Way more. Look at it this way. You are a son to start out with. If you have siblings, you are a brother. And then you become a husband, then a father. And at some point in your life, you're a friend as well. And the last part is who you are in the community. Who you are in the community. Those are different relationships that have to be maintained. And it's through trial and error. But that friend is so important because it can help you with all of them other relationships as well. You know, I used to say all the time that I believe that the greatest love out there is literally the love between a man and a woman. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Why do I say that? I say that because my family members, although not always easy, it's easier to love them because that's my family. Same blood that run through me is the same blood that run through them. It's the exact same thing with my kids. It's easy to love my kids even though they pluck my nerves sometimes. Easy to love my kids. Why? Because the same blood that runs through me runs through them. Loving my family, loving my kids is just like loving myself. Just like loving myself. But that significant other, right? That's a daily choice. A daily choice. My blood not running through her at all. So it's different from having to love myself. And it's the same with my brothers. Love each and every last one of them. And it's a daily choice. And it's different because they don't have the same blood running through them that I have running through me. It's not like loving myself. It's different. It is. But this is the reason why it is so important. We got to get out of this independent mind state and become interdependent as a people. It is okay. It is okay to need. To what I'm doing right now, right? I would not be able to do what it is that I'm doing right now, if it wasn't one for Lady Latina in the frequency. I wouldn't even be on the air right now if it wasn't for 420. Thank you, 420. I appreciate you. I need these individuals. It is okay. It is okay. Shoot. It ain't no different than this phone that's on my side right now. You know what I'm saying? I need this phone. This phone is what's telling me what time it is, so I know exactly when to go to commercial break. And when not to. You know? These are the individuals that are around me saying, hey, you did a good job, or hey, you need to work on this, or hey, you need to do this or do that. This is necessary. It makes me a better person. It makes me a much better person, period. It is a necessity. Nothing wrong with it. We all have needs in our lives. But what we're going to have to do, because we've had this independent mindset so long, is that in the midst of changing and shifting to an interdependent mindset, we have to go back and rediscover what our needs are. I'm not talking about what it is that we want, what it is that we require. I'm talking about what it is that we actually need. And I know it's going to be a hard thing to do. Because when you start looking at what it is that you need, that means you're going to have to start looking at some of those failures, some of those dark areas, those dark places, those places that you put in the back of your mind, looking at those skeletons that's in the closet. You're going to have to address those elephants that's in the room. Which is the reason why having that independent mindset is so much easier to do. It just is. But we got to pay some bills. So we're going to get ready and close things out here in a few. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break and I'll come back with my final thoughts. Hey, coming up next, you got Coffee and Cream Morning Show. Get ready. You already know what it is. It's about to be lit. But we'll be back. King is spoken, baby. And we are back. Hey, it's been a pleasure, people. It has been a pleasure being able to sit here and have this dialogue with y'all. I will be back on Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We back at it. Can I be the man? Having live discussion. Hey, make sure you like and follow the frequency. The frequency. CO. If you haven't already, go like, follow, share the frequency CO. As well as Can I Be the Man? Go like, follow, and share it. If you haven't already, please, Can I Be the Man? A letter from us to you. The book. The reason we are here right now is out on pre-order. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. It is everywhere. If you got ebook, it is ready for pre-order. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it right now. Audio book will be available on the release date. Release date is April 26th. I got to get out of the way. Y'all know what it is. The king is spoken. We out, people. Enjoy the